Beautiful. Welcome to Winnemucca, town in northern Nevada that might have more slot machines than it does people. I don't know if that's actually a fact, but there's 8,400 residents and it seems like a casino at every single rest stop and hotel and convenience store nearby, so that might be a fact. Not 100% sure, but just got into town and I've driven by 3 of these monster trucks, so I guess that's a big thing here. This one looks like a bulldog or something. Crazy. I just pulled into this town to stop and check it out because sometimes these smaller towns are kind of cool. There's no real reason that I stopped at this casino other than the big sign that says Winnemucca. But I'm gonna head into downtown, check it out, let's see if we can maybe pick up some supplies for the road. Currently I am en route to Boise, Idaho. No particular reason, I just haven't been up north this way in a long time. It's also crazy being back up here. I haven't been up here in so long. Last time I was here, it was in the summertime and everything, all the mountains were all so green and now they're so gray, and it's crazy how much of a difference in like the vibes of the area it makes. But yeah, I feel like before I leave, I almost have to go into one of these casinos and just see if I can win some money before we get out of here. I do kind of love stopping in these small towns when I drive through them. I used to just kind of blaze through them without even checking them out, but sometimes like the big deer statue, they're kind of cool, especially when they're a little bit more lively like this one. Like sometimes when you drive through small town America, there's just nothing going on. It's just a bunch of closed down businesses or like trinket shops. This is pretty cool. Gateway to the Pacific Northwest. Winnemucca Highway to the Sea. I was just looking it up and apparently it's this roadway that was proposed back in like the 1950s and 60s to like provide a direct route from Winnemucca all the way out to the Pacific Ocean in Crescent City, California, but it never fully got realized. The road's still there, but it's not designated as a highway. It's also crazy how there's no snow on those mountains, but then those mountains over there are just completely covered. It looks like a thick layer of snow on them. And the town of Winnemucca is in a county called Humboldt County in Nevada. And Humboldt is one of the largest counties in Nevada, but it's one of the most sparsely populated. There's only 20,000 people that live here. So it's larger than some states, but everything is so spread out that it feels like there's really nobody here other than this town. And this little marker for the Winnemucca to the Sea Highway is actually a piece of driftwood that washed up in Crescent City where the highway ends. And I was reading that sign is the largest piece of driftwood ever collected. See if we can pay for today's gas. Also, in no way do I recommend gambling. I am fully prepared to lose all of this money. Just see if we can get lucky. All right, we have won something. We're up $46. Should I cash out? We'll practice responsible gambling. Take my money and run. There we go. $100 to $146 in 5 minutes. It's about a half a tank of gas. There's monster trucks everywhere. The only one I remember from when I was a kid is, what was it, Gravedigger?
Get ready to go big with Mega Gravedigger. You won't believe how big it is.
Because I remember when I was a kid, my dad took me to see the monster trucks. And I just remember being so excited about seeing Gravedigger, but I think that's an East Coast one. I don't know if they travel all over the country like that. But I think it's time to head back to the van. We're gonna go to the grocery store, pick up some ingredients for what we're gonna cook for dinner tonight. I have no idea yet. I'm gonna think about it on the way there. And then head out into the barren desert. Find somewhere to camp. All right, so from what I've looked up online, the town of Winnemucca has a large Basque culture or heritage, which is an ethnic group from the Pyrenees Mountains in northern Spain and southwest France. And since Nevada's vast open rangelands were perfect for grazing, and the Basques were kind of already skilled sheep herders, this area was just perfect for them to migrate to. So this area just kind of became a key stop for them when they were migrating west. So for dinner tonight, we're making a traditional Basque recipe. And that dish was what I originally thought was called Pipérade when I first Googled it, but is actually phonetically pronounced Pipérade, I think. But it's kind of like a shakshuka or like a sauteed onions with egg in it. Look kind of good, so. Pipérade, Pipérade, Pipérade. I know I'm gonna say that wrong at least 12 times in this video. It's crazy, they just have loose chopped veggies. Interesting. 1 bell pepper, 2 bell peppers, an onion, and a bunch of other stuff. And honestly, this recipe in a lot of ways kind of reminds me of ratatouille, but less pretty and less vegetables. All right. See if we can find somewhere to camp. All right, I found a spot about 2 hours away that looks cool. So we're gonna head there. Made it to where we're gonna hopefully find somewhere to camp tonight. There's supposed to be an area back here called the Pillars of Rome. I assume because they look like pillars of some sort. I really don't know. But we're gonna drive back there and find out. And when I say this is the most barren landscape that I have driven through in my entire 3 years of living in my van, I mean it. There has been absolutely nothing for the last, basically the entire 2-hour drive since we left that town. Absolutely nothing. I don't even think I drove past a gas station, maybe one. But there is, I mean, there is just nothing out here for miles. I don't know if I like this spot all that much though. Like, it's pretty cool, but I'm gonna be honest, the views up on the top where we just were are way better than looking at these rocks. I mean, they are kind of cool though. Glad I came down here to see them. There's a bunch of cattle over there too. There you have it, Pillars of Rome. I don't think this is where I'm gonna stay. I'm gonna head back up to the top, camp up there. So, I'll see you guys when I get there. Much better up here. Oh. I hear cows. They're just perfect 360 views all around. I don't know what that was. There's even some snow-capped mountains over there. Over there. Sunset's gonna be something spectacular tonight. Don't get much better. I feel like I say that every time I pull up to a spot though. We're also in Oregon, which I didn't even really think about. I thought it was gonna be in Idaho. We're in Oregon, and we're in the only county in Oregon that isn't on Pacific time. So we lost an hour, or gained an hour, whichever one. For some reason, this one specific county in Oregon is the only one that doesn't do Pacific. It's so quiet up here. Except for the cows moving in the distance. I don't know if you guys can hear that. I think I see some like way off on the other side of this ravine. I don't know if I'd hear them from here. I don't see any. Maybe they're down over there. Maybe it is those cows. Anyway, it's just beautiful up here. It's a little windy, not too bad. We've been actually getting pretty lucky with the weather. I think it's supposed to rain the next few days. I definitely do not want to be at this spot in the rain because I can see from previous vehicles that have driven back here when it rains that it ruts out super deep. And I do not want to get stuck. Anyways, I think it's time to get started cooking dinner. I don't think I'm gonna cook it yet, but at least get everything prepped up. Okay, so we've got our veggies I need to prep up. Knife with my name engraved in it, supposedly. my last name. Got this in Japan if you didn't follow my Japan series. Absolutely beautiful knife. But the first step to making this traditional, what was it called? Pipérade, no. Pipérade. Pipérade. It's spelled P-I-P-E-R-A-D-E, so you'd think Pipérade. It's got a little accent aigu, or whatever you want to call that over the E, but it's Pipérade. Pipérade. We're making some traditional pipérade. First thing, cut up these bell peppers, slice them up, and get them cut into nice thin slices. After we de-seed and gut them, which to de-seed and gut them, I'm going to use another knife that I got from Japan, another beautiful knife, to cut out the perth. I think that's what it's called, peth, the white stuff, and the seeds. And it's my understanding, I actually don't know if this is true, I think I read this or heard this somewhere, that the white in the bell pepper makes it bitter, so you want to get rid of as much of it as you can, like this kind of pale innards of it. It's apparently not as, it can mess with the flavor, so you want to cut out as much of it as you can when you're prepping your bell peppers. Beautiful. Now we'll just slice them up. Beautiful. Now we can take our tomato and our onion and rough chop those up. And then other than a few other small things like garnishes, that should be it for the prep. And there we go, the Holy Trinity, and then our chives. I also chopped those up because we're gonna need those at the end anyways, but sun is shining very brightly in my eyeballs, which is not ideal. So I might wait a little bit to continue cooking. I don't think it should take too long to actually cook this, but never made it before, so I don't know. So I think I'm gonna take like 15 minutes to get some work done. Back here. Cows are going crazy in the sunset. First things first, get some oil in there, get that nice and hot. And I think actually before I even start cooking this stuff, you're technically at the end of this recipe supposed to cook an egg like in the sauce, but I don't think I'm gonna do that. I think I'm just gonna cook it before and then add it on top at the end, because that seems way easier. And I'm cooking this egg sunny side up for visual effect. We got that nice runny yolk on top with a hopefully nice cooked egg underneath. There we go. Beautiful. Just hopefully I don't crack the yolk while I'm trying to scoop it out. Nice. Now we're ready to cook the rest of it, starting with our onions. Get a little more oil in there. And we're going to add in our onion and let those cook down until they're nice and translucent. Maybe like 5-10 minutes-ish. Now that those are nice and cooked down, we can go ahead and add our peppers. I don't think I'm going to do all of them. Save some for breakfast in the morning or something. We can also add some garlic, and then we'll let that cook down for another 5 minutes and then kind of throw in the rest of the ingredients. So now we can add our tomatoes. 2 fresh bay leaves going in there. Some thyme, but just the leaves. We'll throw those in there. And then we'll top that off with some chili powder. Now we can give this a stir, and we'll let this saute for right around 15 to 20 minutes. Let it all cook down and get nice and soft and homogeneous. Beautiful night out tonight. One of the best sunsets I think I've seen in a while. All right. So I think this is cooked long enough. Our peppers are nice and cooked down. Everything's kind of mixed together. So now we can throw in some tomato paste. Again, just eyeballing it. And then about a cup of some vegetable broth. And then again, we'll just mix that together and then let it cook for another like 5 minutes. And then we're pretty much done. All right, so I think this is just about done. I toasted up some bread to eat this with because that's what I read online. You're just supposed to kind of dip bread in it, but I used to always have an issue with making too large of a portion size too when I used to cook in the van, but I've gotten better at portioning things out to make it enough for one person, not too much. Finish it off with some chives. And that's it. Bon appetit. It's supposed to be a little more soupier than it is. Like it's a little bit thick. I think traditionally it's supposed to be a little bit thinner than I have it, but cheers. Ooh. Ooh. Holy. I think I might have added a little too much chili powder. It's spicy. But it is really good. If I made it again though, I'd probably add less chili powder, but it is really good, honestly. If I had to give it a rating, I'd probably say, if it wasn't so spicy, 7.6 out of 10. It's definitely not bad. Something I would make again, maybe as a side and not a full meal. But anyways, I'm gonna enjoy this, hang out, and then get to bed. So I'll see you guys in the morning. Woke up this morning, absolutely freezing cold. And I didn't feel like taking the time to set up my buddy heater, so I just jumped up in the front, turned it on, and cranked the heat up all the way to the max. I don't like to because I don't like to let the van idle, but I'm gonna leave it on for like 5 or 10 more minutes, and I just have these 2 vents open, and I open the curtains back here and let the air blow, kind of get nice and hot back here, or as hot as it can get. We've got kind of a long drive ahead of us today. Actually not too long, 2 or 3 hours up to Boise. So as always, I truly appreciate you guys watching. If you haven't already, think about clicking that subscribe button, and I'll see you guys next time.